I'm Neka, and we are Group 5. We're here to talk about learning styles and the different kinds of learning styles. In my group, Jacob, who's going to be talking about the VAK learning style, Paul, who's going to be talking about the done and done learning style, Melissa and Jesse, we're talking about the experiential learning style. And of all these learning styles, we're going to relate it to different team role theories. At first, we have to look at what learning style is. It could be seen as simply different approaches of learning, and also it could be seen as a preference of individual learning based on their skills or based on their weakness and strength. It could be seen as the process of acquiring knowledge through skills, attitudes, and values. I'll transfer it down to my colleague who's going to be talking about the VAK learning style.
I'm Jacob to talk about VAK learning style. VAK learning style is a system developed by the great psychologist and the teaching specialist to facilitate the learning process of an individual, and it has 3 steps. Visual learning: these types of learners learn through physical activities such as posters, diagram, flip charts, and they are very good at making use of their sight to acquire knowledge. They enjoy watching things and sticking to it to facilitate their learning process. Auditory learning: these people learn through the process of listening to personal speech, sound, noise, and they enjoy listening. They are good at explaining things, listening to words, and they make use of words to facilitate their understanding of knowledge. And then kinesthetic system of learning: this group of persons are very good at working things in physical to acquire a process of experience such as holding, feeling, touching, and they evolve into technical problem solving to improve their skills. They are very good at keeping information, working together, giving a good understanding, and having a trip or visit to acquire more knowledge. With all these 3 mentioned, I stand in a better position in this group to link it up with our team role theory, which is implementer theory, which these people are very good at coordinating things. They are well organized. They are very practical in everything they do. Therefore, I relate this particular learning style to the implementer's theory. Thank you. I link up with Mr. Paul to continue from there.
I'm Paul. I'm talking about the done-and-done learning style which is related to the practical theory. Done-and-done learning style mainly research 5 factors: environment, emotional support, sociological, physiological, and physiological. Plans should be creative and think about all these 5 factors in order to make a successful teamwork. Next, to the environment factor, plans need to know what is the best environment for the team working. To the emotional support, plans need to know what kind of emotion support team member will need. And to the sociological factors, plans need to know whether team members like to work separately or work together, and how to coordinate their works. To the physiological factors, plans need to know how to make different types of learner group members work together. Again, how to coordinate their works. And plans also need to know, does a team require more freedom or flexibility? To the physiological factors, plans need to know the way group members think when they're facing problems in a big picture or a small picture. The advantage of using done-and-done learning style is it covers almost all the objective elements, and the disadvantage is a lack of the discussion of subjective elements like personal characteristics. And next will be my colleague Melissa to talk about the experiential learning style. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm going to be talking about experiential learning. Experiential learning is a process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. This means that experiential learning, for it to be learned, it needs to be acted upon. Experiential learning focuses on 4 dimensions. The first one being concrete experience. Concrete experience looks at how people make use of tangible possessions as well as their own senses so as to process the new idea or the new experience. This is a concept based on the feeling aspects of learning. The second one is abstract conceptualization. Abstract conceptualization focuses on the thinking aspect of learning. This is where people make rational decisions to the decision-making process. They look at the facts, they look at the concepts, they look at the analytical parts of the concepts in order for them to make their own logical sense of the learning process. Thirdly is reflective observation. Reflective observation is a process where people need to have an encounter with the learning process for them to be able to reflect upon it so as to apply it to current and future situations. Lastly is active experimentation. This is a process whereby people have to engage themselves in their activity for them to be able to process these activities so as to enhance the learning process. They make use of trial and error so as to solve problems. As part of Group 5, I feel I was most effective in looking at errors as part of the group assignment to scrutinize it to basis of high quality. That's my team role theory is complete finisher. Next, I'll hand over to Jesse to elaborate more on experiential learning.
Hello, I'm Jesse. I'm here to talk on the 4 types of experiential learning. Firstly, I'm going to talk on the divergent learning style. The divergent learning style has concrete experimentation and reflective observation as major learning abilities. These learners learn basically by feeling and doing. These learners gather a large portfolio of information and tend to be innovative due to their critical thinking abilities. The second learning style is the assimilating learning style. These type of learners have actual conceptualization and reflective observation as major learning abilities. These learners learn basically and primarily through watching and thinking. The assimilating learning style learners are good at understanding a wide range of information and putting into precise and logical use. The next learning style I'm going to talk about is the convergent learning style. The convergent learning style has actual conceptualization and active experimentation as dominant learning abilities. These type of learners learn basically through doing and thinking. These type of learners are individualistic and tend to be professionals in their skills. These learners possess tactical abilities and are good at resolving tactical issues. Finally, I'm going to talk about the accommodating learning style. This type of learners have concrete experimentation and active experimentation as major learning abilities. These learners learn by doing and feeling. To these learners, practicality in an idea is of more importance to them than the idea being logically sound. These learners learn primarily through hands-on experience. These learners tend to take information from others rather than conduct their own personal analysis. The resource evaluator is very similar to the accommodating learning style. This is because both type of learners have the ability to crowdsource information and put into logical use. For a team to be successful, it is important that the management puts this type of learners at the practical aspect of the task. Thank you.
Learning style that we talked about here, the done and done, the VAK, and the experiential learning style. There is no learning style that is bent on hereditary, and all is being developed through experience. There is no scientific evidence also that shows that students, people, specific have fixed kind of intelligence. And also, Cobbs explained that different people and have prefer a certain kind of learning. So it's important to design a learning environment to meet individual differences, because what could bore a person could also end up interesting someone else. As a coordinator in this team, my point of focus is to delegate different work to our team and to achieve our objective appropriately. Thanks for your attention.